everybody, my name is Farmer Phil. Storm Agnes is here and it is raining and it is windy. It is that time of the year again, the shear grab is on and I'm pretty sure you all know what's coming. We're about to open the silage pit this year. It's probably the latest we've got away with opening our silage pit. And what we're going to do now is service up our shear grabs, so sharpen it, grease her down, and then we have our bulls in. We were feeding them bales, we had 30 bales there down the pass, they're all gone now, so it's time to open the pit and start feeding them that. We only have one batch of bulls in for now, but by the end of the week we'll probably have another batch of 50 bulls in and maybe a batch of calves as well, just depending on how they get through the bit of grass that's left for them. And really, Mark, every year on YouTube, and every YouTuber, farming YouTuber for that matter, you can say there's always the first sowing video, there's always the first video of the cattle going out, the first video of the cattle going in, and this time of the year now is the first opening of the pit. We're going to get stuck in and get this sharpened. We're also, after we get the cattle fed, we're going to be starting to move all this machinery, as we have to kind of reorganize ourselves, start putting machinery away for the winter. It is that time of the year, some machines are finished with, and we also want to start preparing this upper half of this shed to put bulls in for the time being while we have grain in our other sheds. So we like to call it playing Tetris with machinery. That's what's on for today's viewing. So anyways, we get this shear grab serviced up. So we're at the pit now. Hopefully it stopped raining and the wind has kind of died down. We're lucky that the storm is coming from the southwesterly, so it's blowing that way, so it's blowing across the hill behind us, so we're quite sheltered. And luckily for the maize too, behind the pit, it's sheltered. If it was a westerly wind, we could be in trouble with the maize, but I think we should be all right. Not expecting this to be over hectic now. Just seeing that corner there, the dogs have been at it. It is 3 weeks in, so we'll open up and see what's there. So that's it open. You can see yourself, doesn't look over hectic. Also, it's handy, my plastic just went into the pit, a gathering spot beside me, and that goes to Smith's Recycling. They do the pickup in Ballymatten, that's where all that goes. I'm just going to get the grab and just spoon off some of this stuff from the front, that out away, and we'll see what's underneath it. But yeah, that didn't keep well. Just after scraping off there, just the one bucket, which I don't think is too bad. It's not great, it'd be nice not to see it, but I didn't realise the dogs had gone in underneath the tyres there, obviously after vermin. But one little black dog there, and he's ringing. Well, there's actually two. There's two of the dogs there. They go to town, they rip apart any bag in it, and it just went in underneath the tyre there and made a bit of a poor out of that now. Anyways, that's the drives of it. The reason we're opening the pit that side is because that side has the deepest amount of whole crop, so we want to get in and access in that first, just to be able to get on that job. So we'll throw this bit of stuff in the dung pit, and yeah, we'll take our grab and see what it's like when we get in. We'll grab it again. So you can see there's the dogs already intrigued and ripping the next bit of polythene. The father Phil's here, so we'll go get a bit out of it. Handbrake forward. So we'll have to clean out the barrier, just the bits that they don't heat. I have the most of it gone over, there's just a few bits. That's coming out nicely now. Often see when you take the first...
That's the first grab of the year.
That's the first grab of the year. Sometimes if the pit wasn't just that well done, that first grab wouldn't come out nice. It had nearly kind of pulled down to you. That looks pretty...
You nearly eat it yourself.
That would be the first cut. That is it.
Don't think that come out that far. There'll be another grab in before you hit first cut. That's nice.
That's very nice.
Very nice.
You can see how leafy it is too, like that's...
Lovely. That should test for you as well now.
Yeah. Excuse that bit, but We also, you can see a bit of whole crop there.
The whole crop mixed into it.
Yeah, it'll be about another grab, I'd say, before we really get into the whole crop. Yeah, I'd say another grab before the first cut, but that's, I'd say the third cut. Aye, there's a bit of whole crop.
There, so the first cut's inside that again.
Aye, yeah. Aye, because there'll be a layer of whole crop before we got to the first cut.
A whole crop before you hit the first
Yeah, so that's our third cut silage there.
Very good.
That's really sweet. Just a pity about the face because of our pest control, isn't that right?
Full-time pest control.
Full-time pest control. Oh, we're debating about maybe, well, myself and Liv anyways, going to sandbags over tyres, because the maize pit last year the dogs never bothered it, whereas the year before they fleeced it. So something we might think about in the future, because it seems to make a difference wherever the tyres are, the dogs, and then you don't see it because they always go around the tyres. But anyways, I get this thrown into the cattle. You're heading off to get a few bits. No, so just getting Father Phil geared up there. He's heading off to pick up provisions, steel and stuff, to fix up a few barriers, fix up an end gate in the shed. Just, we're doing a bit of maintenance work today as well as moving everything. So Father Phil's on maintenance, myself and Lee are on playing Tetris with machinery. I get these cattle fed. And now that is the boys fed. So they're a little bit wet because we scrapped them out there this morning. They're out in the rain, but you know, it's not bad. Now we're getting into it a bit, but it's not bad. So the boys are liking it anyways. Now they're not staying in this shed. This barrier is here for our so we put our heifers in here. It's just needs most at the minute, and we're clearing the shed, the very bottom, for them to be moved into. It's more suitable. Cubicles and bulls don't really work well, but yeah. No, it's not bad now. I keep them happy. So now, off the shear grab, and we start putting away machinery. So we're just getting ready now to put the combine header back into the back of the shed. So the teleport is just the easiest for this job, as we can do a little bit more manoeuvring. So we're just putting it into the back, and then putting the fusion in front of it. So we still have some baling to do whenever that happens. But the combine header's finished, but where it's going isn't just ready yet, as we have to get some grain shifted for it to go into its winter home. So yeah, just go up and down the camera, because this is machinery tetanus at its finest. That's the first header in. So now we'll go put the whole crop header in to its permanent home for the winter. So Lee's just getting the 36.9 to there and moving it around. And yeah, this is the tightest bit of Tetris we have to do, is putting in this header, because you would have seen it before. This is a tight hole job. And now it's time to get that in behind that blue door. Let the fun begin. And now that is that in till next year. So just moving the little spinner we have to the 35. Probably done the most receipting we've ever done in a long time this year. And that wee spinner sowed a lot of it. So it sowed a lot of it. So we'll put it away to its winter home. Now we have our little 35 sprayer. Sprayed all the pumpkin ground, the potatoes and the sunflowers. So put it into its winter home in the same spot. Next then is the big fusion. So I think Lee's going to pull out one of the grain trailers. Or am I going? No, I'm going in first. So yeah, next then is in the fusion in front of the thing. We still have one more job to do for 12 acres, so we just can't put away for the winter just yet. So she has to be left ready for action. So we'll they're back in here, we should be grand. So I can get back in. I used to have my reversing camera in it, it makes life a little bit easier. And that is the fusion in. So now we hook up to the big square baler, pull it out. Want to give it a blowdown because she's going away for the winter. She's finished, she's no more baling to be done with her. Didn't do a lot with it this year, a bit disappointing. The year that was in it with the weather and that. Yeah, I'm going to save a video kind of on contracting, you could say, or the contracting that I done with the stone picker, or stone picker, Jesus, the stone picker, the big square baler, my grass harrow, and a few bits I have, and just kind of you can say a little thing on contracting. When I go to pull away the stone picker, there's a bit of work might come in line, may not. It's just hanging in the balance. A bit of picking on some winter corn that's to be sown. So it's whether that gets done or not. So we'll leave her out till I know that's not going to be the case. Then we'll put her away, and I'll make a video on that at that time. But for now, the big square baler is finished. So we'll pull her out. We'll fire up the row compressor. We'll give her a blow down, and we'll leave her finished for the year. And that is the big square baler out of the shed. So light up the row compressor, we'll give her a blow down. We're not going to wash it. She could do with a wash, she's a bit mucky there, but she's not going to dry off in the shed, and it's just going to kind of hold moisture. So we'll wash it when we take her out of the shed for next season. So need a vice grip stove in that one. And yeah, we'll give her a blow down when we drop her for our winter accommodation. And that is the baler blowdown. Law dust. But that's one thing I didn't get doing last year, done this year. Slowly but surely, we'll get everything moving in the right direction. But anyways, we'll go leave this above in the shed, move the bee harvester so we can get it in. A little bit of moving up there, but it shouldn't be too bad. And that's the big square baler in for the winter. So we'll give her a wash when she comes out next season. But yeah, big thing, just didn't do as much as I done last year. About half of what I done last year. Disappointed, but it's the year that's in it. There was a lot of hay there that could have been made if the weather had come good in July, but it didn't. So it's the year that's in it. Anyways, bee harvester is still in the shed. So about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we should be rocking and rolling with that one. We've a little bit more sorting to do here. We have to get the bee harvester out, get the drill in at the back, and millpea out to bring up the bed cattle with, and a little bit of sorting left in the shed, but this is the first piece of the puzzle. This off anyways, but the grain dryer has to come up here too. So did you get it? It's just the day that's in it. Everyone's wet and miserable. Just backing in the 3690 now. Back into the shed. So big square baler's away now for the winter, so back this in. We turned around the spout on the grain dryer to show you that, because we are maxed out with grain. Every trailer has grain in it. We're full to the lugs, and we need to, the grain dryer is full of beans, and we have to turn around the spout so we can unload the grain dryer into the trailer. But we have to roll stuff to get that done, and we can't just roll and it pee and rain, because we have to move it across the yard to roll it. So also had calves and you come up off the bottoms into the yard. So yeah, there's well. Anyways, hoping she'll just sit nicely back here. Throw the rain. Oh, there's a problem in the shed now. You can see water running down there. It's never really been an issue. I think we just need to tidy up the far end of the shed. I think that's where the water's getting in, or there could be a water, there's a water pipe up there, could be leaking too. To check that out. See what the crack is now. So we'll have to get some of these trailers out, unloaded, to take the load of beans, and then we can start rearranging all this stuff here. What are we doing now? Huh? Yeah, I know. When Liv went to feed the cattle this morning, we had no flood, and now we're flooded again. The joys of farming low ground. Anyways. And the evening has got dark on us. And now we're in the dark evenings. It's time to enter back into the workshop. So to kind of start off, we're just going to see about getting some new lights put into the shed. There's a lot of tidying to be done too after a summer of doing bits. We're getting ready now to just kind of get the telly in and you hope to put in these new lights. They didn't seem very productive because the cattle broke. I'm pretty sure I said that the cattle that we had out in the bottoms come up from the bottoms into the yard, and we put back down the bottoms and moved on to the next square as the flood was up, and I think they were getting a little bit anxious of the wet feet, so I moved them on to another bit of ground that's slightly drier. So but anyways, so yeah, bit tidying now and then get in here and I think I'll start wiring. So yeah, but yeah, it's getting to that as the video is all about. It's that time of the year, the evenings get dark. We'll soon be in here a lot more often. We might get this 1200 out for Christmas with any bit of luck. They're just doing up a shopping list of what wire and stuff they need to be able to get new lights into the workshop, and then we just have inside the door tidied up now. So I'm going to bring my bale spike I never got to use out of the shed now. Don't have it in the way any longer now. The 3690 is not in the way. So yeah, probably won't get using it at all this year. It'll be next year before I get using it. But hopefully now when 64 gets done this winter, we'll have a tractor to actually make use of it. So just bring it in out of the way. I brought over the shear grab in case you wanted to get up at the lights. We use the shear grab as like a safety bucket. It's good as one. Safer than pallets and a fork. So just catch that like that. And away we go. That is the grape store bale spike out of the way. Started it in February and it's finally left the shed now. We're in September. Anyways, so Father Phil is just doing a little bit on the 1200 there, sizing up. We're needing a few more bits. Lee is doing a bit of tidying there, and that's really it for today's video. It's winter kind of starting now as it is, so you're going to see more of in the workshop now. Probably another 2 or 3 weeks before we really get into it. It'll be November, but from November onward we should be in it a lot.
Like you do it in October. If you into it in October, you kind of get a stride on the.
Yeah.
That's how I used to run it. We kind of got out of the habit of it for the last few years. I charge that.
Yeah, I'll bring it up and charge it there now. So yeah, hopefully now by Christmas we'll have her for the Christmas lights run on 4 wheels and running. So yeah, look, we're going to leave it at that for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday.